Since many armies seem to be demanding my attention, here's a response video to some of my biggest fans. First, I'd like to address my BTS copying EXO video. That video has 300 plus comments, and most of them fall into 3 categories. BTS is more famous. Haters gonna hate. Or, because apparently everything somehow comes back to BLACKPINK. 2NE1 copied BLACKPINK. Let's start there. BLACKPINK and 2NE1 came from the same company. Even YG marketed BLACKPINK as the next 2NE1 when they debuted. And now people say similar things about Baby Monster. That's a YG thing. Whether you like it or not, that's how the company operates. Now let's talk about the BTS is bigger argument. Okay, and being more famous doesn't answer the point. If your response to a copying accusation is, but they're more successful, then you're not actually denying the copying happened. You're just saying you don't care because it's your favorite group. And then there's the classic, haters gonna hate. Please, it's not 2019 anymore. Can we use actual arguments instead of repeating one sentence your idol said years ago? Now let's talk about the hypocrisy argument. One person told me that when armies accused Lisa's VMA win of being rigged, they were simply calling out suspicious voting methods. But when Blink's question an award result, suddenly it's, you're dragging BTS. You're attacking Namjoon. You're bitter because you lost. How is that different? That's the double standard I was talking about. Another example brought up was fans calling Jungkook's World Cup song bad. Personally, I don't care. I like both Dreamers and Goals. Music is subjective. People are allowed to like one song more than another. But what annoys me is this mindset of, they criticized our idols, so we'll criticize theirs. Because if we're being honest, I've criticized armies way more than I've criticized BTS themselves. People keep acting like I spend my days dragging the members when most of my content is about fandom behavior. If your defense is always, well, Blinks did this, then you're not defending the behavior. You're just justifying it. I can also sit here and put a clip of JK scratching his you-know-what on stage, or showing his dirty underwear on Live, or Jimin dancing weird, but I don't, because I have respect. And now my biggest fan, who wants me to reply to everything she says because getting my attention is her biggest achievement. I'm genuinely confused because your story changes every 5 minutes. First, my script was ChatGPT, then it was bot vocabulary, then it was impossible for a non-native speaker to write, then suddenly there was nothing complex in it, and now it's I was rage baiting. Girl, pick one. Because if you were really rage baiting, why did you spend days correcting my grammar, arguing with people in the replies, making posts about me, and writing paragraphs explaining how much you don't care? Nobody who doesn't care does all that. And the funniest part? My video was never about AI, ChatGPT, grammar, or my English. It was about fandom hypocrisy. You had an entire video to respond to and somehow ended up talking about apostrophes and capitalization. Also, imagine saying, don't lecture me when it comes to ink. I'm more fluent in it than my first language. And then writing logics instead of logic. For someone who spent days acting like the grammar police, that's pretty funny. Now let's get to the actual argument. You asked why Blinks cry whenever BLACKPINK loses, and whether I think armies are responsible for BLACKPINK not winning. Where did I say that? Like genuinely quote the part. Because in the same video, I literally said, I do not think BTS bought the award. So who are you arguing with? Because it clearly isn't me. You're holding me accountable for things other Blinks have said while completely ignoring what I actually said. The point of my video was never that BTS bought votes. The point was that some armies spent years calling other artists rigged, payola, fake winners, industry plants, etc. But the second BTS gets similar accusations, suddenly everyone wants respect and fairness. That is the hypocrisy I was talking about. And what's funny is you called my roasting lame, then made an entire post calling people pathetic, desperate, attention seekers, and crybabies. Those aren't arguments either. Calling someone's roasting lame when I wasn't even roasting and just stating my opinion, while you're out here throwing insults after insults just because you can't actually prove something speaks a lot more than I even could. In the end, y'all still have no real argument that can win over me. I keep winning and pissing y'all off. It's so fun.